guy. Sit around the campfire and hear him tell his tale. Some may be able to relate to him quite well. We're all just people looking for a place to go. Well, Sty has made one, and it is quite a show. Come meet Sty. He's quite the guy. If you're feeling lonely, come and make a friend. If you need a story, on Sty you can depend. His voice is soothing like a lullaby. Sometimes he brings a tear to my eye. Sit around the campfire and hear him tell his tale. Some may be able to relate to him quite well. We're all just people looking for a place to go. Well, Sty has made one, and it is quite a show. Come meet Sty. He's quite the guy.
Oh, look at it, running water. How do you get up here? I'll bring you back up.
Yeah, I'm not ready.
I'm not ready. Hey, happy Sunday, everybody. Good to see you. Oh, running water. Sneaky bugger. I seen him come in the basement. I didn't expect him to be up on panel like that, but he was. There he was. Yep. And I don't know what is going on. My browser completely shut down. Just completely shut down. Everything. Shut down. Whole doggone thing. Doggone it. Don't get me upset. I'm having such a good day. Something had to go wrong. Let's see. I've had the last couple of great days. Something had to go wrong. So here, it's out of our system now. We don't have to deal with it. No more. I'm shouting out to folks out there. Now, Kathy Gahan was the first one in. Over on the StreamYard side, I lost some of the early comments. So if I don't shout you out, you were in those comments that I lost when it rebooted. But the first one in the new comments that popped up was Kimberly Ferris. Hi, Kimberly. Then there's Kathy. Kathy was the first one in here. She come in real early, said, I'll be back. Yeah, love you, Kathy. She's so dependable. There's Tiger Muskie. That's cool. It's been a while. I'm glad you're checking in. It's so good to see you. And there's Cinda Lou. Yes, I had a really good day today. I had a really good day yesterday. I'll fill you guys in. And there's Spicy. Yeah, Phil's down in the basement with running water. Phil knew. He stayed in the basement running water. No, he was right up at top. Phil's down there taking swings at old running water. Like, come here, buddy. Yeah. That's the thing. It's kind of good that they can't see each other down there because, yeah. I've seen folks giving each other gestures and the like, They know the other person can't see them. And there's Peppers in Kentucky Living. Hey, Peppers. Good to see you, bud. There's Ingo's family. Awesome. Awesome. Oh, yeah. Zipping down through here. There's Freeman James. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Yeah. Who else we got in here? Anybody else sneak in? There's Tim with Kirk Whipper Voyager Center. Awesome, Timmy. Good to see you, bud. And there's Rebecca. Oh, hi, Rebecca. Just dropping by to say hey. Real quick, can't stay long. I'm watching football, Bills versus Chiefs. It's halftime now. There you go. So yeah, that's all the folks out there in the chat. We got quite a few out there in the chat. We got a good crowd in the house tonight. We're gonna pull these guys out of the basement. I'm just gonna pull them both up right away. Boom, 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 boom. In fact, because running water was, butting in early, we're gonna do that. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I figured it out why it is. If I'm doing a stream and running water comes into the basement, he doesn't come in the basement. He comes right to the panel. Why does that happen? It's because he's an administrator on Teams. So he's like a host. So he's got administrative rights to the stream, and he just pops up on screen like I do.
Gotcha.
So that's why. Maybe I should take that away from him, right? Yeah.
Or you could just remember and put him back down in the basement.
Yeah, I just remember to make sure he stays down there, right? Hey, Eric, it's great to see you. It's been a while.
What's up, Pollock?
Hey. I love it when some of our old regulars pop in. And it makes me reminisce of some of our old streams, it's a lot of work, man. I'm having a hell of a time compressing all the Sty stories, 200 plus of them, trying to get them into volumes and chapters. And I'm just cutting the Sty stories out of live streams. But I get to see some of those live streams, and some of them I watch, and I go, oh, I can't believe how we behave, man. Some of them are pretty wild.
Some of the older ones were, yeah.
But they're all monetized. I mean, YouTube didn't block any of them or nothing. So I kind of know my limits, I guess. They're pretty broad. You can get away with quite a bit. I have to say, Bill, I just loved your last video. Your granddaughter is so cute, and make that poor kid eat that soybean bullshit. I mean, at least I'm glad it tasted okay. I
use her as I got a 12-piece expecting probably to throw away half of it. And I was surprised. I still got the whole video. I edited that down. I would think about putting it in my members only if anybody wanted to see it, because after we got done, my daughter, her mom tried it. My wife tried it. My other daughter tried it. And it wasn't bad. I mean, again, it was, it wasn't chicken, but it was all right. I won't order
that ain't chicken. Hey, Gulf Coast, good to see you. Great to see you, Joey.
But I watched a big reviewer review that, and it was what he had was horrible. It was tough. I think they put it in the warmer to keep it warm for a while before they gave it to him, and then he took it home, and he had a hard time pulling it apart. And I was thinking, if I get that, then that'll be, So when I dug in, I was pleasantly surprised.
When I watched a reviewer, and that's what his whole channel is about. That's all he does is food reviews. His very first one, he bites into it and he's going, and finally, running water dropped off. He'll be back and forth because he's having signal issues where he's parked his truck. But that guy's chawing on that thing. He finally breaks the chunk off and he's chewing it. And his actual biggest disappointment was, he said, where's the 11 herbs and spices? He says, it's just not spicy enough. It tasted like a generic chicken nugget. He said, like somebody else's mock-up of a KFC one. And he said, if it had more of the KFC seasoning to it, it would have been a lot better. And he said, it looks great. It looks like real chicken. And the coating is a good crispy coating. But he said, it just didn't have the flavor it needed. Plus, it was too tough. Well, because he had a 6-piece. The second one, he dipped that in sauce. And he bit it. And he goes, oh, well, now that one, the texture was like chicken, oh, look at this guy. Oh, here goes the neighborhood.
Uh-oh.
You let anybody in here, don't you?
No kidding. Looks like your woods are on fire.
I know. It's because I still don't have that green screen figured out quite right yet. I can't stay too long, but I wanted to at least stop in and say hi.
Well, yeah, that's what I figured, You were just wrapping up your stream. You didn't know I was lurking, did you?
I figured you were one of the ones that was out there lurking.
Yeah, I was lurking. I
would have been disappointed if you weren't.
That I had to jump away to get everything of mine up and running. I wasn't paying attention. I'm listening to you, watching you, and you were talking, going on about Moose Lake and the disappearing toilet paper, and I'm just like, I know this story. I can go do my work.
I know this story.
I know this story.
That story.
That campground's the only one I've ever seen in my whole life that can eat up. I agree with you. I think those people are wrapping that on a stick, roasting it over the fire, and eating that ass white because
it's not in the pit.
There's 2 bathrooms and there's only 15 campsites, and it's rarely ever full. When I was helping out over there, when you had finished the year, when there's 3 campsites in use and a total of maybe 6 people, 8 rolls of toilet paper gone in 2 days.
Yep.
What are they wiping?
Because it's not in the pit. That's the part that does.
I look down that toilet and I go, yeah, that's shitty. But there ain't no toilet paper. There's hardly any toilet.
And it's not in the fire pits.
No, they're not burning.
It leaves enough debris behind. You know it's there.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think we got toilet paper spooks at that campground.
Something.
Let's steal the gas wipe. Yeah.
Something. I don't know where it's going.
Damn. Pranksters or something.
There, now the woods isn't on fire.
Oh, no. And I do like that background, by the way.
I like that knotty pine.
Yeah, I love that room. We had a house that we leased for a couple of years. Beautiful house. The whole upstairs was typical drywall walls, painted, except for one room, which was my office upstairs. And that was all knotty pine. It even had knotty pine shelves down about maybe 18 inches from the ceiling. And I was able to put all my movies and shit up there for the longest time. They were trophy shelves, or what they were, because the people that owned the house, their son, that was his bedroom, and he put all of his high school athletics trophies in there. But beautiful knotty pine room. But the basement of that house had what we call the mother-in-law apartment. And that whole apartment was done in knotty pine. Living room in knotty pine, had a gas fireplace. Oh, I loved that knotty pine room. Oh God, that was nice.
Joe Life Adventures, that was my first thought they were using it to start fires. But if you've ever burned paper, you can see it in the pit afterwards.
Well, and the amount of toilet paper they'd be using, you'd have toilet paper scraps around the fire pit.
Yeah, and
it would be real evident that's what they were using it for.
they weren't using it for that. I
No,
don't know what they-
I had somebody at Beaver Lake Campground. I caught him coming out of the crapper with the biggest handful of unwound ass wipe you ever see. A big old handful, and he goes, "Oh!" He sees me, and then he sees the Forest Service truck parked behind me, and it's like, "Oh no!" And I go, "Excuse me, what are you doing?" He goes, "I'm having trouble getting my campfire going." I go, "No, you could get in trouble for getting your campfire going if you're using all of our ass wipe to do it." I gave him some pointers. I even gave him some fire starters.
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Stay out of my crapper and quit stealing our toilet paper."
Quit
Man.
stealing my toilet paper.
Yeah, here, I'll give you something to start your fire with.
What'd you
People.
What'd you think of my discussion about which way I should do my upgrade?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't either. I'm thinking lithium, but in the same token, adding more charging capabilities makes sense too.
Yeah. The thing with lithium is today, right now, in this market, is the expense.
Oh, yeah.
And I keep hearing people saying that they've got lithiums on order and they've been waiting 18 months for them.
Oh, yeah.
So you want to order large lithium batteries that you got to wait forever and hope like hell you get them, or do you
Not particularly.
Or do you want to come up with a more immediate kind of approach and answer, which is increase your charging capabilities? You know,
right?
Now Running Water and he started it. He got me stuck playing this TerraTech game.
You were telling me about that game.
And I got to the point where I'm getting all these extra little benefits. You can get equipment you can build your tech stuff with.
Right.
And now I can get lithium batteries. Oh yeah. They're nice. They're small.
Oh, yeah.
They're small. They carry 4 times as much power as the standard battery, but they last more than twice as long, and because you got to make money on this game.
Right.
Oh yeah, they're only $19,000 a piece.
Is that all? Buy 2, they're cheap.
Yeah, buy 2, they're cheap. Now, I hate to say it, that goes to show how much late night PlayStation I've been playing that damn game. But I got over $3 million now, so I'm not worried about the price anymore. I played the shit out of that game. I stayed off of it for 2 days, and I actually got some shit done around here. The signal's too bad, audio is garbled, unintelligible, and I only see 3 black buffering squares. Running Water's having a hell of a time, guys. I don't think he'll be back up.
Oh man,
got a crappy gas station.
Yeah, he's at a truck stop in a region in Iowa that's having a lot of cell tower issues. He actually stayed at the truck stop he's at because he was hoping that cell tower issues wouldn't be so bad as this other truck stop, bigger, nicer truck stop he was going to be at. But that place, he said, hell, I can't even use cell phone at that other truck stop. And he said, that one's got 4 towers all within about 5 miles of it.
Oh, wow.
But yet the signal is crap. You can't, he said, if it's anything coming off those towers, you ain't getting it. So he stopped at this truck stop and he said, no, same damn problem there. It's not even as bad as the other one, but it's so bad you can't stream. He says, I can't watch Netflix. I can't stream YouTube. Yeah, I feel bad for him, because he's laid over for the weekend stuck there, He's been there since yesterday, and he's not pulling out till tomorrow morning.
He needs one of these, with pages.
Read a book. he's got the electronics and his laptop and stuff. He's got. It's not like he doesn't have things he can't do, and he can even play PlayStation offline. And there's things he can do.
Yeah.
But he wants to be up here hanging out with everybody.
Sure.
I feel bad for him. Hey. But let's say that. So, yeah. What's that? What's his book? What a bunch of crap that is.
I needed that laugh. That was
What
good.
else would you think there, me Dibble?
I needed.
Now, last summer in camp, I read a couple of books, a couple of big books. Yeah. I like that. The first 300 years before Game of Thrones, the Blood and Fire and Blood, or whatever. That book was pretty good. Yeah, that's a good 900-page book, But out in camp, even though I had good reception, I watched movies all the time on my cell phone and watch YouTube. I even come on a few panels, popped in. Hey, hi, I'm good signal. But no, I still read. Well, if that's how you feel about me Dibble says. All right. Me Dibble, you know. Come on in, say what you want, feel at home. I've been so goddamn busy today, and because I developed this eating disorder, I can't eat a lot of solid foods. So, but I always wanted food around my house. I loved to eat. I just thought, man, I love to eat, and I unpacked all my goddamn pantry and food stuff yesterday. And boy, our cupboards here at Running Waters are so full of food. That boy, well, I'll have to monitor him, make sure he doesn't overeat. But if he eats like a normal person, he's got 2 years worth of food. But I was telling Phil, I'm feeling really good. I think I come up with an answer to my problem. We'll see. I'm knock on wood. I think I found the answer. It's a bacterial infection from my CPAP machine. I took my CPAP machine and I sterilized the son of a bitch. I soaked it in a boiling hot distilled water packed full of hydrogen peroxide. Killed all the bacteria off that damn thing. Everything. Put it back together. This is 4 days ago. So I've had 3 nights sleeping with it totally as sterile as it can get. My symptoms have been my runny nose and the saliva symptoms have been reduced by almost 50%.
Oh, that's great.
Because my body's fighting that bacteria. And today is the first time in 7 months I've had an appetite where I'm craving something to eat.
Oh, that's awesome too.
Literally for 7 months, I didn't crave food at all. You could sit there, eat a pizza in front of me, didn't matter. That's all right. I don't need a piece because I don't feel hungry. I just haven't felt hungry for 7 months. Today, all day, man, I'm just like, ooh, I'm hungry. I'm popping pretzels in my mouth, eating candy.
Are you having any problems keeping it where it belongs?
No.
That's awesome.
Yeah. No, yeah. And then my blood sugars, I'm sitting here eating these York patties, York peppermint patties. The amount of sugar in one of these little buggers, I can eat 2 of these for a snack on my diabetic diet, right?
Mm-hmm.
I sat here last night and I ate 6 Kit Kats. There's 2 in a,
right.
2 in a pack. I ate 6 packs of those Kit Kats, and I ate 10 of these York patties, watching a movie. And along with it, I ate half a can of Pringles, all before I went to bed. My blood sugar this morning was a 68.
Oh, that's great to hear.
Good.
And normal is between 60 and 100. So I'm on the low end of normal. I've never been there. Never. And that's the way it is now. I checked my blood sugar before the show. That's why I'm eating a York patty now. It's because my blood sugar is 101. I'm not used to that shit. And I've had ambition and energy the last 2 days. Got a lot of work done around the house here. And so, yeah. So if I sound like I'm in a good mood tonight, there's reason. There's reason. Things are coming together. I feel good about it.
So does
Hey, Tiger Muskie.
Does this mean you're going to get to host after all?
No.
Oh.
No, you should see my to-do list for this.
Oh, I'm sure.
Around this place here, stuff that should have been done but never got done. Running Water's not here to take care of his place, you know. And I got a solid week. If I don't do any live streaming or nothing, all I do is work the whole week. I got one solid week just cleaning up these 5 ash trees that are laying in the yard out here.
Yeah, you were talking about those.
And we have half of our shed roof has to be reshingled. All of the hedgerows around the property, we call them hedgerows, but they're just rows of trees all grown into the property. Those all got to be trimmed out, cut back. My youngest boy just kept mowing farther and farther away from these edges. And if you mow to where the yard actually ends, there's a third of the yard that's all full of thistles and everything else. That if a thistle grew, he'd mow a foot away from it and just mow out again and again and again. So Running Water lost a third of his yard. And so we're going to get that all squared away. And I don't know. There's just so much. We got washer and dryer. I got to tear out. I'm retrofitting the whole bathroom. We're tearing up the downstairs bathroom, tearing out the tub unit, putting a new subfloor in, moving the washing machine from the kitchen into there, because right now it's a huge kitchen, but the washing machine takes up a lot of space, you know. But that's coming out of the kitchen going in there. And the dryer's coming off the back porch and going in there. And then in the back porch, we're going to be working in there. We're going to be putting the floor freezer in. And yeah, it's just the list goes on and on and on and on and on. JCT, sweetie, it's great to see you.
Well, at least you're
a homeowner again.
What's that?
I said at least
homeowner again.
Yeah. That's the nice thing is, if it's anything that's going to cost any kind of big bucks, I just go, hey, Running Water. Hey, guess what? I need this, this, and this to get this job you want done. And he's so good about it. He's just, don't worry about it. Covered. Just go get it. Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about we're getting a new weed eater this spring, and we're going to get a nice, powerful leaf blower so that I don't have to fire up that damn snow blower next winter. Right now, I got about 1.5 inches, 2 inches of snow on everything. It snowed up here the other day. And it's been so damn cold, I don't want to go out there and mess with that. Well, it's about 200, I figured it out. It's about 240 feet of sidewalks and the area in the back for all of our parking. About 240 feet of snow blowing or shoveling. Well, I ain't shoveling that shit.
And it's the plow.
And it's damn near not enough for the snowblower. And so, yesterday and today I'm looking out there going, now I got to work in the house. I got to work in the house. Tomorrow I'll have to go out there and clean it up. But what a waste of time. Hey, Jimmy Pickles, good to see ya.
Well, that's my oldest boy. You know, they bought a house a few months ago. Now their furnace went. They bought this house as is. They had an inspector come by, inspect the furnace, tell them that was okay. Different things. Their furnace went after their first month or so in the house. Guy come out to it, kept showing them stuff on it. Says, I'm surprised you guys aren't feeling sick. He says, you're probably getting a ton of carbon monoxide in the house. He says, you should get rid of this. So they got rid of it. And so I got a feeling they're going to be, you know, that could be something at their place that they're going to be dealing with, buying a house like that. And of course, one of my Christmas presents was one of those chainsaws you got on an extendable pole.
Yep.
Because I got some stuff here I need to do, but it's not so much for me as it is for him, because they've got some big trees in their yard and some branches that goes over the top of their house. We're going to have to keep those branches trimmed back. That way, if we get an ice storm up here, you know, any year, nothing comes crashing down on top of that house.
Plus, it opens up the air and the sunlight can come down. Your roof don't rot out on you. And yeah, there's so many good issues. And the power pole saw is the way to go, man. That's the way to go.
And I don't know what this house was like before, but they had brand new OSB on it and brand new shingles on it. There's some things on it that are brand new, but there's lots about this house that makes me wonder. It's like if Joe may have owned it. They lived in the place, but they didn't take care of it.
Right. And it sounds almost cosmetic, like cover up other issues.
I mean, they've got a room that they went through and put this textured paint on the walls and the ceiling because there were issues that they, instead of doing it the right way, they covered. And I wanted to go in that house when they first took it over, but I was doing so much other stuff, and I wanted to go through and rip all the drywall or whatever, wallboard or whatever was in that room and redo it for them. But I ain't got the time or anything to do that, you know.
That's it. It's time, because that's why I won't be able to host this year. It's just too much.
Oh, I get it.
Oh, fuck.
You are going to come visit me, though, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to have a couple of weekend camping trips.
Good.
Hey, it's story time, guys.
Okay.
And
all right.
I'm gonna warn
then, because I got grading to do.
Okay.
So I'll be listening to the story. I just wanted to stop in and say hi.
Thanks for coming up, buddy.
Yeah.
It's good to see you.
See you later.
You bet. Bye-bye.
See you, Trav.
And I just want the audience to know, when I do the Sty stories now, I don't interact with the chat because I need the Sty story compressed as much as possible, because I have to cut it out of the live stream to archive it. So I try to keep it as clean of a Sty story as I can every show. So we'll get the Sty story out of the way. I'll just do this number. We don't want to get rid of Phil. We just move them to the side. So, okay, Sty story for tonight. Who started the fire? Good question. Good question. Okay, this is a incident that happened back in the 80s out in northwestern Montana. When I moved my family to Montana, I moved out there with a group of families. I mean, there was a bunch of us. We all moved on to an 80-acre parcel, and we were going to build separate homes, blah, blah. We had all these plans. Well, plans changed, and what we decided to do was we were going to build a big building and put 5 apartments in it. Basically a big apartment building. And we'd all live in this one huge building. Well, we built the building, and the ex-wife and I decided we don't want to live there. It was a little too communal for us. So we opted not to live in that building, and we lived all the way across that 80 acres in this little clearing. And one day, now this 80 acres, we had put a fence all the way around that 80 acres. Now, mind you, this 80 acres is on the edge of the town, right at the base of a mountain. Very wild 80 acres. Had a nice creek run through it. But we fenced that whole thing in. Well, we fenced it in because I had a couple of horses. A friend of ours had a couple of horses. I had a donkey. And we had a couple of beef steers on the property. It was to keep livestock in. And that livestock, the horses and the cattle, just ran all over the property wherever they wanted. Well, okay, the fire. One day I decided I was going to drive from where we were staying to that big building where 4 families lived in that big building. And I'm on my way to that big building to visit these folks. And I got the windows open in the truck and I could smell smoke. And it's like, what the heck? Who's burning something, man? The smoke smelled like wood burning. I get closer to their building and I see the smoke. All of a sudden, here's a lot of smoke. And I'm like, what the heck? And I look off to the right. The floor of the woods. Now, this 80 acres only had one small clearing and 2 clearings that were about 10 acres each. This whole, the rest of it's all pines. It's all lodgepole. Most of it's lodgepole pine. And the forest floor is burning. It's on fire. And it's right close to that big building. I stood on it and I got up to that big building. I run in there and I'm yelling, hey, we got a big fire out here, guys. And it's close to the building. Is anybody aware of it? Well, nobody was. So all of the men and the oldest boys and we all run out. We're grabbing every vehicle, filling up the backs of pickup trucks with containers of water, and we're all hitting those woods, hauling that water out there, and we're all hitting the woods with rakes and shovels and picks and axes. I believe there was like 7 or 8 of us trying to fight this fire. Well, it was a grass fire. It had been dry for about a month. And this was all high country grass, real brittle, dry, and pine needles. That's all that was on the forest floor. And that fire's running through that stuff like it was gasoline. Well, we were very fortunate that fire, there was a stiff breeze, nice stiff breeze, but that fire never got up into the canopy of the trees. If it would have gotten up in that canopy, we would have had a forest fire on our hands, because the direction that wind was blowing, if that fire would have left that property, from there right into the Cabinet Wilderness mountain area, it was all wide open. That fire would have gone wild up those mountainsides. So we're just going like mad trying to get that fire out. Because if it left the property and damaged anybody else's property, or it burnt that national forest, that wilderness area, we'd end up liable for it. Point of origin, wherever the fire started. Well, we spent about 4 hours getting that fire under control. And finally, we got the fire totally under control and extinguished. And we felt we were safe. The fire got to the driveway, and that worked as a good fire break, and we were able to manage it along the edge of that driveway and get it to stop there. Once we were sure everything was safe, it's not going to reignite, not going to take off, then we called it a day. We're having dinner at this big building these folks live in. And we're chatting, and I said, you know what we got to do? And I grabbed a couple of the fellas, and I said, we need to go out and figure out where that fire started from, what caused it, who started that fire. So 3 of us went out, we started looking. And they said, where do we start looking? I said, it's real easy. I said, we know what direction the wind was blowing through that whole fire that we fought. We go to the opposite end. If the fire stopped here, we go all the way to the opposite end and work the edges of it and find out where it started. We went to the opposite end. Couldn't find where it actually, you could kind of see it must have started in this spot here and it fanned out from there. But it was in such an odd spot, we thought, how would it start there? One of the guys said, oh no, I bet you it came from the burning barrel. Because out back of their place, they had a big machine shed. Beyond that, they had a burning barrel. And I told them, I said, well, your rules about burning in that burning barrel are good rules. Nothing should have gotten out of there to start that fire. And I said, plus look, we're standing right at the edge where the fire started. I said, that barrel is 100 feet away from here. And nothing between here and that barrel is burnt. Nothing. Anywhere around that barrel. And nothing burnt by the shed. That fire, if it started from the barrel, it would have caught that shed. We walked over to the barrel and looked. It felt the barrel. It's cool. We're looking at it. We're going, this doesn't seem like it could be the barrel. Well, for the next few days, it's like 3 days later. But during those 3 days, all of a sudden, everybody, so-and-so was out there with a chainsaw that day. And I bet you it was a spark off that chainsaw started that fire. I said, I don't think so. They weren't sawing in where that fire appears to have started. They were sawing 500-600 feet away from there. I don't think so. Well, it's so-and-so. It's the kids out there with their little motorcycles and stuff they were riding that. That's the spark off that started. I don't think so, because there's no tracks, there's no trail, nothing near where that fire started. There's no evidence that they were even riding in that area. I don't think so. Then all of a sudden it turned around, it was one of you smokers, because there was 5 of us out of the whole group of people that smoked. It was one of you smokers. You flicked this lit cigarette, and that started it. Well, I said, well, no. The smokers in this group of people are all avid outdoors people, very responsible. They would never let that happen. They would never flick a live cigarette on the ground out here in these conditions. They wouldn't do it. I don't believe that's it. Well, I was sitting in the house having a cup of coffee with a buddy of mine there. And he said, I got something I want to show you out in the work shed. He said, it has to do with that big tractor we have. And I said, well, let's go down to the shop. We're heading out of the building, and his wife yells at him, hey, wait a minute. Take this bag of burnables with you and burn them out there in the burn barrel. He said, well, okay. He grabbed it, and we walked out. And we walked over that burn barrel. We each got our cup of coffee, and we're chatting, and he's getting ready. He tears that bag open, dumps it in that burn barrel, and stuffs the bag in there. and he lights it, and he's got this round piece of wire. It's like steel mesh that he puts on top of the barrel. That way nothing blows out of it. Well, 99% of it isn't getting out of the barrel, right? And we're standing there chatting. Well, all of a sudden, down the trail towards that burn barrel, here comes my two horses and the donkey. They're coming down. And they come right up to us by the burn barrel. They want to be pet and played with. The one horse I had, her name was Stormy, and it was for a good reason, because, oh man, she was like a walking thunderstorm, boy. She was a handful. That horse was a handful. Well, those horses and the donkey always expected me to have sugar cubes. I usually carried a pocket full of sugar cubes when I was out on the property, give them a treat, right? Well, I didn't have any with me. They're nudging me with their heads. I'm going, back off, you guys. I don't have any snack for you today. I don't. Well, Stormy, she don't give up. She starts nipping me and getting kind of mean and ornery, and I give her a little swat. I said, get back, leave me alone. And me and my buddy are talking. And he goes, what the heck? And I turn and I look, and here's Stormy. She dips her head down, gets her nose underneath that rack that's on top of that burn barrel, and flips it off of the burn barrel. There's fire in that burn barrel. There's newspapers and paper plates and all kinds of garbage in there burning. And she flips that thing off of it. She walks over, looks down in that burn barrel. This is a horse, mind you. She was half Morgan, half thoroughbred. She was a crazy thing. She walks over, she looks down in that barrel. All of a sudden, that horse sticks her head inside that barrel and flings a newspaper that's on fire. It's got flames on it. Flings it over her back. Just flings it. Sticks her head back in there and flings out a paper plate that's on fire. Well, there's no wind. It was a calm day. It just landed behind her. I run over there, chase her. Get out of here, Stormy, and chased her. Gave her a swat on the butt, chased her off. Went stomped those two little fires out. I looked at my buddy and I go, where's that kid that did that burning the day that we had the big grass fire? He goes, oh, he's up at the house. And he starts yelling at the house for that kid to come down there. So that kid comes down to the burn barrel. He goes, yeah, what do you need, you guys? And I said, I got a question. When you were burning the day we had the big grass fire, did my horses show up here? He says, oh, just the one. I said, which one? He says, that Stormy one of yours, that mean one. And I go, oh, yeah, what was she up to? He said, oh, she was a nuisance. He said, she kept bugging me for a snack, wanted a treat. And he said, I didn't have no treats for her. And he said, then she walked over and she used her muzzle, her face, and flipped the lid off of the burn barrel. He said, I chased her off, put the lid back on. He said, and then I just headed to the house. I said, did you notice? Did she come back? He says, well, she only ran about maybe 50 feet away and just turned around and was staring at me until I left. I don't know what she did after that. I looked at my buddy and I said, guess who started the fire? I said, my damn horse came over here, flipped the rack off of that burning barrel when that kid headed to the house, and she started pulling burning material out of that burning barrel, flipping it out. And then we had that stiff wind, and it blew a chunk of that into the woods and started the woods on fire 100 feet away from this barrel. That damn horse started the fire. We finally knew who started the fire. Here, everybody for 3 days was blaming each other. It must have been you, must have been you, must have. No, here it was that goofy horse playing with a burning barrel. Now, what horse in its right mind would be willing to stick its face in a in a barrel full of fire. Her. When I got back to our place where we were staying on the property, she was over there with the other horse and the donkey, and I whistled for her, and she come over, and I got her by the halter, and I'm looking. Sure enough, all of her little whiskers on her muzzle are all singed off. Her eyelashes are all singed off. That stupid horse was sticking its head in a barrel full of burning papers. Didn't like it, and was flinging those burning papers out with her teeth, grabbing them and flinging them out of that burning barrel. So it's easy to blame somebody for starting a fire, but sometimes it'll surprise you when you find out whose responsibility it really was. It was a stinking horse. So there you go, Stormy, the fire starter. That's who started the fire. There's your story for this week. Yeah.
Stupid horse.
Yeah. You know, actually, she was a very smart horse that did very stupid things. That's, yeah.
And that had always been a burn barrel. It wasn't something that food used to be stored in or anything like that, that it was thinking.
Yeah. It really never would have dreamt that she would have done something that crazy. But then I should have thought about it. There was a lot of times we'd have campfire outside where we were staying, and she'd come up, stand right next to the campfire, and she'd look down and see what the heck you're cooking on it. It was like she wasn't afraid of fire. But the fact that she was willing to come in contact with it and try to get, I think she was trying to put it out is what she was trying to do.
Huh.
You know, hey, your barrel's on fire. Here, I'll put it out for you.
Right. Yeah, it's not very often you see an animal that will actually go towards fire. So
Right, exactly.
That's trained to.
Oh, what do we do to stop her? My buddy, he's an ace mechanic and ace welder. He went out and he welded this hinge on that steel grate on the top of that barrel. He welded a hinge to it, and then on the other side a hasp, and we put a big bolt through it. You close it, you start your fire, close that top, and then you run a bolt through that hasp, and the horse couldn't flip it open anymore. She could go over there and singe her whiskers off, but she couldn't get a hold of nothing to throw it out of the barrel.
There you go.
And that solved our issues. Yeah. Hey, it's good to see. I got folks popping in all over. There's E-Ways and Gemma's here. Yeah. That's great, folks. Rain dancers in the house. Great to see you, Rain Dancer. That's awesome. Great bunch of folks. Great group in there tonight. Yeah, my horses that I had out in Montana, they generated a few Sty stories. Those two. Yeah. The donkey. Oh yeah, Brownie. He was just Sty Story material. That character. I learned a lot about those Sierra Nevada donkeys, man. Those wild burros, they are nuts. I tell you what, pack of timber wolves go after anything. They'll go after livestock. They'll go after deer, elk. They'll go after anything. They won't mess with a frickin' Sierra Nevada donkey burro. No. They won't put those burros. If they see any canine, and I warned those folks that lived in that big building, don't let your dogs come down by us, because the burro are typically stuck real close by us. And I said, you don't want your dogs near Brownie. And they said, why? And I said, he'll stomp them to death. He'll kill them. I said, I've seen so many of those Sierra Nevada burros stomp dogs into the ground for no other reason except that they were dogs. They deal with coyotes out there in the wilderness, and it's a defensive mechanism for the burros. They just automatically, boy, there's a canine, stomp it. And I watched video where 3 burros went after a mountain lion, for crying out loud. And that mountain lion was like, holy God, what kind of attitude do these little hoofed buggers have? You know, they can be pretty vicious. You know, you wouldn't think a donkey would be vicious, but they're real calm around any other animal or people. But boy, when it comes to any canine or a mountain lion, oh, they're vicious. They're vicious. It must be instinctual, you know, that because they were prey to them, I'm sure. And,
yeah, you would think they would, at least the mountain lion would have no problem with a burro, but because burros are usually smaller than your average donkey too, right?
Now donkeys are burros.
Yeah, donkeys are burros, but I thought the ones they referred to as burros typically were a smaller breed. No.
Okay. No.
I'd heard that once.
It's what you end up with is when you get into mules. That's a donkey that's been bred with a horse.
Oh, okay.
And then they're smaller than a horse, larger than a donkey. Now, I've seen donkeys that you'd say, oh, that's a miniature. You know, they're not very large. They might be 2.5 feet tall. Now, Brownie, his back was about, I'd say 3.5 feet off the ground. He was a pretty large burro. But you see burros of all different sizes, all in the same herd. Yeah. Hey, Yoren. Good to see ya. Good to see ya. The mules are a whole nother story, too. I did one story on a buddy of mine's burro. And he called her Jenny, and that's what you call a female mule, is a Jenny. And he named her Jenny, but that story was Jenny the Jumper. Yeah. We're taking her up to this mountain lake, and it switchbacks all the way up. And that bitch turned and jumped off the damn side of the mountain with someone on her back.
Oh, wow.
And mules they're another whole different breed. I think they're a cool animal, but I actually went riding. I didn't have a camera with me, but a gal up here in Bayfield County, she's got an actual mule farm, and she was out riding one day, and she ran into me out in the woods, and we chatted for a while, and she says, oh, do you ride? And I said, I haven't for several years now. And she said, you want to go riding? She says, stop by the farm. She said, well, saddle up a couple mules, go riding. I said, mules, eh? And she said, well, that's all I got is mules. I don't raise horses. And so I stopped over there, and yeah, we went out saddle riding on a couple of mules, trail riding for a day. It was fun. I couldn't believe I had showed up without a camera, though. The Killer Creations, hey.
Yeah, see, I don't have any mule or horse stories, or I got none of that. Got none of that for you. Can't relate a lot. I've only been on a horse maybe half dozen times in my life, so.
You did. You got horsing around stories.
Horsing around, yeah.
Yeah. Stories of yourself horsing around. The Packers losing. That's, the shit happens.
Yeah, the Packers lost. Brady lost. It's like, all right, what's going on? Are we in a different universe?
That's it. Is if things are going to go to shit, they're going to go to shit. And
what was it this week? Is it this week or is it the whole playoffs? Every visiting team, I think it was this week. Every visiting team so far has won.
Yeah.
So teams with the home field advantage have lost.
Yeah.
So,
And what's that about, right?
makes you wonder, don't it? I think
Oh,
right
rain
now,
dancer. Thank
right
you,
now.
sweetheart. Um, yeah. Yeah.
I think right now Kansas City is beating Buffalo, and I think that's in Buffalo, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Plain old Chuck. I had a friend that was an ass. Hey, Chuck. Yeah, my ex-wife. I don't know whatever happened to it. I think she might have kept that. I sent her a card when I was driving truck over the road. That's not a good career when you're married and have kids, you know. And I was trying to soften things because she was having a real issue with me driving over the road. So I sent her a card, and on the front of the card it had, in fact, I think I got, maybe I do. No, I don't. I thought I did. Had the picture off that card, but it had 3 donkeys on it, and it said on the card, it said, "My heart's with you," and at the bottom it said, "But my ass is here." And she didn't find it funny. I don't know why. And yeah, here's a picture of how the Packers are feeling right now.
Yep.
Yeah, football my ass.
What's up, Bradley Whitworth?
Bradley. Cindy Lou says, I rode horses all my life and went riding here with my friends. 14-hand horse 6 years ago, and now I can't ride. Got thrown off, broke my back, so now I ride a steel horse. There you go. Yeah. See, I can ride. I can still ride.
What was
I
Christopher
can't.
Reeve?
I can't ride for more than an hour or so because I'll be so saddle sore. It'll be pathetic. Yeah, in order for me to ride like I used to, I'd have to ease myself into it. I'd have to really ease myself. The only reason I really don't ride is because for one thing, I don't own any horse flesh. And I just don't have it in me anymore to maintain any horses. I did all my own work on the horses. I maintained their feet, and if they needed to be shod, I'd hire a farrier to come out to the place and throw shoes on them. Otherwise, I would just maintain their feet for them, and I didn't need a vet if they needed insulin or anything else. I had administered. I took care of them, and I just don't have it in me to do that anymore. Plus, there's nowadays just to keep horses, pleasure horses. They're not working horses on a ranch or a big farm. They're expensive. It's costly to have a horse, man. Just boarding a horse now. I got a friend that's got 3 horses they're boarding, and they get a special deal. They get their boarding for $200 a horse. That's $600 a month for those 3 horses. And I sure as hell I couldn't swing one if they're $200 a horse. And they said, "Oh no, it's $275 a horse if you only got a single. You got 3, they give you that package deal of $600." I said, "Fuck that." I said, "I'd rather eat some Winnie dogs than own a horse now." I still think that is hilarious, and I'll admit it. I thought they were pretty damn good. When I was driving over the road truck, they had these yellow hot dog wagons all over New York State, and there were big sign on them, Winnie dogs, and they were cheaper than buying Coney dogs or other hot dogs from a different hot dog stand. They're cheaper. And they were just these big old hot dogs, and you get all the toppings you want to put on them and stuff. And I stopped my truck one day by one of them wagons, went up there, and I got a couple and chowed them down. They were pretty damn good. And I'm talking to this guy because I'm sitting on this rock wall that was along the street there. I'm sitting there eating my Winnie dogs. And I told him, I said, yeah, I have to stop and eat these things. I love them. And he goes, I won't eat them damn things. I said, why not? They're good. They're a good hot dog. They're as good as those good old those Hebrew national franks. He goes, oh, no, you ain't going to find no Jew eating them. I said, what? Oh, because they're, probably got pork in them or something. He goes, look at the stand. It says Winnie dog. Those are made out of horse meat. I went to that stand, and I'm holding one that's half gone, already ate it. And I go, excuse me. Are these actually made out of horse meat? And the gal goes, well, yeah, read the sign at the end of the wagon here. And I walked over and I read that. And it's talking all about how it's USDA approved horse meat, blah, blah, blah. I was eating horses, and loving it. I mean, they were great.
Now, how do you feel about it after you found out?
I didn't eat so many. I actually don't think I ate any after I found out. Good to see you scrapping together. Yeah, Winnie dogs. My one grandfather, he enjoyed horse meat. Now, he's a farmer, and I ate horse meat on the farm once. My grandma had prepared a roast, and it was horse meat. And then when I found out after dinner that it was horse meat, I'm going, how could you? And what horse? Neighboring farmer. The horse, it got injured in an accident somehow, and they had to put it down. And he said, so they butchered it. And he said, because it didn't go through a lot of trauma, the meat didn't get spoiled or anything, so they butchered it. And I go, but it's a horse. And he says, no, it's meat. It's food. I never thought about it, but yeah. You know, what is a cow? Just because you don't ride it. I mean, I know a lot of people that they raise a cow because they like them. They're a pet to them, and they eventually the cow died of old age. Well, not so different from a horse, except you're not riding the damn thing around. So I guess it's meat.
But cows, usually when you're eating a cow, you're eating a cow that was raised to be eaten. They're a young cow, so they've gotten to a certain age where it's time you slaughter them, or the meat becomes rougher and tougher and everything else. I mean, I remember when this whole pandemic thing started 2 years ago, there were a lot of steers or a lot of cows that got put down that didn't get used for meat because they had infected meat packing places, and cows that had, they could either keep the cows and affect their quality of their meats by having older cows processed, or they would put the cows down. So a lot of those ranchers chose to put the cows down versus actually using, because they couldn't process the meat at that point in time. And
right.
That was crazy. I don't mind them charging a little bit more for meat and stuff right now, meat, chicken, milk, because those farmers, those people that had cows, they milk for milk. And the fact that schools aren't open, they're not making any money.
But the next Sty Times, the topic is farmers, and I'm going to get deep into that. I have several farmer friends, local ones. They got big dairy operations here around Ashland. Big dairy operations. They're milking the ones 250 head they milk every day. The other, we got 565 head they milk all the time. If you actually knew, we're paying more for our beef, we're paying more for our milk, we're paying more for anything in the dairy and or meat market, right? And I feel like you, Phil, if that's going to help these farmers out, I'm okay with it. I can live with it, but it's not helping the farmer. These dairy operations, their milk prices, what they sell their milk for, their dairy prices went up about 4%. But yet the milk at the market went up 26%. Why is that? Why isn't the farmer getting a benefit? And here's the worst part is their overhead costs on the farm went up about 21%. But yet their milk value only went up by 4%. They're dying. They're dying. These farmers are getting killed out here. And some of them are big farms, and they're going, we're losing literally tens upon tens of thousands of dollars because what we can sell our milk for isn't offsetting our overhead. So we're making tens of thousands less annually than what we used to. But yet the retailers are making out on it. And that's been an argument for the last 40 years in the farming industry, is how the farmer, it's the end sale where they're making the money. The farmer ain't making shit.
But I mean, we do admit that the gas prices have affected us. A lot of stuff has affected this.
Yeah.
Gas.
It's a whole big picture.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of variables that are affecting everybody,
increase in hourly wages for people that after the milk leaves the farm. All those people that got to increase in hourly wages that have to package it. You know, milk comes from the farm. It's not done there. They take it to a place, and there's a recipe for that milk. You're not just getting the milk that the farmers give up. No, that goes to a processing plant, and that's where they, you know, do everything they do. It's got a recipe. That's why different milks will have a different taste to them than others. There's a whole process, and if all those people are making, you know, a couple bucks an hour or more, you know, and there's, you know, it's paying an extra $1 for gas to get that stuff, it's gonna hit you at the grocery store for sure.
I just wish that the farmer got a better cut out of
right. Oh, absolutely.
Their product. I mean, Chaucer's talking about you don't name a cow 90%, 80% of the time you name a horse. It's hard for someone to eat something they gave a name to. It would be like eating a child. Yeah, it's, you know, and that's it. I told my children, thank God they were little enough that it didn't impact them the rest of their lives. But when we had the farm, they wanted to name the pigs that I was raising. Oh, Lenny and Squeaky. That's Lenny and Squeaky. I said, no, that's Pork Chop and Ham. That's not Lenny and Squeaky. No, that's Lenny and Squeaky. Don't name them. Oh, name this steer Samson. Yeah, we're giving his ass a haircut someday. Don't name him. Don't. Oh, that Guernsey cow, we'll name her. I said, you can name the Guernsey cow because we're not going to eat her ever. So you can name her, but don't name that steer. Oh no, they got to give them a name. And you're right, because what they become is pets. And we all know pets are fur babies. And Dennis was asked a question on Facebook. Dennis from Canoe Hound Adventures. The house is on fire, and you can only grab one thing and get out of that house. What are you going to grab? He said, I'm going to grab the dog. The old lady can find her own way out. Because he named that dog. And that dog became one of his children, you know. And Yeah, we all understand that. We all understand that mentality, you know.
Well,
And
and don't you typically eat the horse and a lot of those animals because a horse has been around a while. If you're putting it down, it's not a young horse.
well,
It's not
that
a
was
young
one
tender
thing with
horse.
this horse that I had at the farm where I had that meal. That's one thing my grandfather did say is that it was a shame because he said it was only a 2-year-old. It was
Yeah.
a young horse. It was a young horse. Old plow horses have been out there pulling the plow for 8 years. They're not going to want to butcher it in the same way. What they do is the same thing we do with steers and cows. What happens to old dairy cows, by the way? People don't know what happens to old dairy cows. 9 out of 10 dairy cows go into all of your beef products that are out there. They don't show up as steaks and roasts and ribs and things in the meat market. They go into beef-based products. Campbell's Soup buys old milk cows, and they use that beef, that old tough beef. And it's because of their processing that they can make it tender. And they get the flavor out of it, but it's tough meat that you can't sell in the meat market, but they can process it so that you can eat it. They make hot dogs and lunch meats and all those things out of all those old cows and steers. But there's only a certain level of demand for those things. And what Phil was talking about, these farmers couldn't get rid of them. The market couldn't handle it. They weren't processing enough to handle all of the beef that was out there. So a lot of this beef was getting old. What do you do with it? A lot of them were just digging pits and putting them down because they were going to lose money anyway, trying to move them, trying to sell them in any sense. So that they actually, in some cases, would lose more than what they had put into it. So if they just killed it, they actually lost less by killing it than they did by trying to get rid of it.
Yeah, because you're still feeding the old cow, even if they're grazing on the grass that the younger cows need to get up to be that age that they would be slaughtered too. So there's a process. If you got one of these ranches that things are going in, there's a cycle. It's like a circle of life type thing to talk about, but not a circle of life, but you know what I mean. There's a cycle, and you got to keep that cycle going. And if you can't get rid of those cows, you got to get rid of them.
Right. Yeah. Hey, rain dancer. No horse soup. No. And that's one thing, thank God, the FDA requires now. No ifs, ands, or buts. Any product that's got horse meat on it, it has to be boldly disclosed. Yeah. When you look at ingredients, if it's got even 1% horse meat in it, that's the first ingredient they're supposed to put. And they're supposed to put it in bold letters. That because it's not considered a regular agricultural food product. So they're supposed to list it first. So no, you're not going to have soup with horse meat in it. The odds of if you had soup with horse meat in it, it's because somebody served it to you and lied to you. Yeah.
Rain dancer, I used to love veal parmesan as a kid.
Mm.
I still like a good veal parmesan.
Yeah.
Little baby cow.
Yeah.
Didn't know for a long time when I was a kid that it was baby cow, but
Yeah. Veal calves. I used to have to milk them buggers. You go out there with the big old milk bottles and fatten up those little baby calves. And once they hit a certain weight, boom, truck is there hauling them out, And that's what all the bull calves, every single bull calf on a dairy operation is a veal calf, and it's heading out of there. Once it hits a certain weight, it's out of there. Bull calves aren't worth anything to a dairy farmer. You can't milk a bull calf. Well, you can, but it's not. Yeah, it's not a good thing to do. And now milking a horse, certain horses can be profitable. We won't go there tonight. We're not. Yeah, I think when we did that show, I had a few people walk away going, "Oh no, that's too odd. That's too odd." Sty'll do anything to make a buck, won't he? I want to let everybody in the audience know we're only going to go 2 hours tonight. Phil's got a heavy workload tomorrow. I still have a heavy workload. I spent the last 2 days just working my ass off around home here. I still got a solid week of work to do to get moved in, settled, all that. I got to do a bunch of snow blowing tomorrow. And so we're going to wrap the show up at 2 hours tonight. And with that, I got to squeeze this in. My great channel members, I love these folks. It takes less than 50 seconds, so don't go anywhere, anybody. Hey, I was telling you, my swallowing problems. It's still tough to eat solid foods, but I came up, and I think that's why I gained some weight over the last few days. I was telling Phil about it, but it's because I don't get enough fat intake. I'm eating soups, that don't have a lot of fat in them, and I'm eating crackers and stuff like that. It just don't have enough fat in it. I beat that problem. I figured out one thing running water had here that I don't own. And I'm moving shit on the cupboards and stuff, making room for things. And I come across this. You guys know what they are. A magic bullet.
Oh yeah.
It's like a little
blender thingy.
It's like a little blender. The cup's got the blade in them, and it's got a half a dozen cups. It's got the blade covers. It's got little caps you can put on, make a sippy cup out of it. They got handles on them like a mug. I found that machine, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, that damn thing was so dust covered. I'm like, that thing hasn't been used in years, man. So I cleaned it all up, washed it, plugged that bugger in, and I tried it. Zing, zing. Oh, I go, well, that's pretty cool. What can I do with that? Well, being I'm having trouble swallowing solids, I bought these pouches of Oscar Mayer real bacon bits. It's real bacon. It's like fried up bacon crumbled up in this bag, in this pouch. And I was looking at it, and I don't remember what the weight was on it, but volume-wise, I'm looking at it and I'm going, well, that's a pound of bacon fried up and broke up. That's a pound of bacon in that pouch. Well, it was $4.26. Well, a pound of bacon for $4.26 is rather cheap right now. So, yeah, I'd have 4 of them bags. Why? I don't know. How the hell am I going to swallow that shit? I put soup in that damn magic bullet in a big handful of the bacon bits and put it in on there. Oh, that frickin' soup tastes like $1 million, man. All bacony, and it took those bits and made them into micro bits. And man, I could swallow them and drink that shit. I'm drinking about a half pound of bacon with my soup now. I love that little magic bullet. I can remember I had bought one for the ex-wife, and I think she sold it in the yard sale or something. But lo and behold, running water had one up in the cupboard, and I mentioned it to him. And he goes, "Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, Kendra used that. That's his ex." And he goes, "She used that for making protein drinks and stuff." He said, And she left so much shit behind. She was like his little brother. She left half her shit here and said, do what you want with it. I'm running across all this facial creams and stuff, and I'm going, running water? What the hell? Yeah, what do you got all these female products for here? Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right there, Naj. Hey, bacon makes everything better. Yes.
Yeah, they'll use you some heck of some infomercials they used to do on those things. Every time I would see that, I'm thinking, man, I'd like to get one of those and, do the whole banana smoothie thing and the fruits and yeah, I know that the infomercial sucks you in. You do it probably half dozen times and the thing goes in the back of your cupboard that's never seen again.
Well, that's it. Our first one went back when I was married. I think we used it for maybe a month. It started out, oh, yeah, we can, like, Rain Dancer says, I make milkshakes with mine, she says. And that's what we did. I love root beer freezes. I love root beer and vanilla ice cream zipped up like a shake. Oh, man, that's great. And we're making stuff like that. Then we went, oh, let's get healthy. We're doing our own vegetable kind of drinks. And we're doing smoothies and shit. And then it was like, I don't want to waste my time with that. And then you're washing all those cups and the blades. And you're like, yeah, fine. And all of a sudden you're using it once a week. Then you haven't used it in a month. And then you haven't seen it in 5 years. And I well,
that was you. You just rediscovered the thing. So, I mean, you had to put bacon in there and whatnot because you rediscovered it.
Well, that and repurposed. Now it's got an actual purpose for me. So I thought, Jesus Christ, I got to wait 15 years for that thing to all of a sudden come up with a good reason to use it. So yeah, I'm happier than snot that I come across that thing. But I would have never been this happy about that thing any time in the past. I mean, when we first got it, it was, got to do everything in the infomercial. That's like I bought this rotisserie chicken cooker, this big fucking thing. And you put that chicken on a spit, you put it in that machine, and you turn that sucker on, and you watch that sucker rotisserie cook your chicken, just like you buy at the supermarket, or like at Walmart and
Boston Market. Yep.
Boston Market. Made them best, most moist, awesome chickens. But I'll tell you what, after about 4 months of eating nothing but fucking rotisserie chicken, that son of a bitch went in the cupboard. And it was about 5 years later, I come across it and I said, that goddamn thing cost me $85. And I think we ate about 50 fucking chickens out of that thing. Maybe somebody else hasn't done it yet. I can sell it in the yard sale. So I actually put $50 on that thing in the yard sale, and their two ladies were fighting over it. I thought, sucker, I hope you like chicken, man, because you're going to be eating a hell of a lot of it. And then after I sold it, this guy tells me, oh, I had one of those. Yeah. He says, I think I still got it. But he says, you know what that thing's really good for? You put a small butt roast or something on there. And he says, you slow rotisserie cook a beef or pork roast in there. They're awesome. What? What the fuck are you talking about? He says it doesn't just cook chicken.
Right. It didn't say chicken only on it, did it?
Well, all their pictures were of chickens. I mean, these sons of bitches. You should have been a little more open on what I could cook on that thing. And maybe I would have kept it and ate beef roast for the next 6 months and then packed it away for another 5 years, But these gadgets are great. The Rain Dancer saying, add a banana to your shakes. That's one thing I'm doing. Hey, I love baked potatoes. Rain Dancer, I can't swallow potatoes right now. I'm hoping that issue's going to go away.
You got to make them mashed potatoes in your mouth.
I try eating mashed potatoes, and I have a big issue with them. but I love them. I love mashed potatoes. I love baked potatoes. I love loaded baked potatoes, full of bacon and cheddar cheese and some sour cream and some good taco sauce on it. I tell you, to me, I can make a taco salad out of a baked potato. I can take taco meat. I take a big baked potato, and I mush it all up in there and push it off to the side so it's like open like a canoe. And then I'll load that with taco meat. And then I put everything I put on a taco on top of that and then smother it with taco sauce. And I eat that damn potato like a taco salad. It's awesome. See, I'm getting my appetite back. I'm starting to think about
food.
The
remember when they used to have taco salads at Taco Bell way back in the day? You had the edible bowl, and they put the refried. That was the most fattening. That was the most fattening thing they had on the menu. Someone would think, "Oh, I'm going to be good. I'm just going to get me a taco salad." And with the
that wasn't no salad. That was a fucking meal.
That was the most fattening thing on their damn menu.
I ordered a taco salad at an actual authentic Mexican restaurant in Denver, Colorado.
I bet you that's
That son of a bitch, they bring it out. Everything they served you was served on a hubcap.
Oh wow!
From a car. Your plate sat in a hubcap of a car. The whole place. They had 3 57 Chevrolets converted into booths. They took the front seat, turned it around, and the back seat, turned it around with a table in the middle, and you're sitting inside this 57 Chevrolet, and that's your booth, man. It was awesome. It was a beautiful place. And I thought, well, I'm going to eat light today. And I didn't even look at the menu. I just told the gal, I said, "You got a taco salad?" She goes, "Oh yeah, we got taco salad." I said, "Just give me a taco salad." And everybody else is ordering enchiladas and burritos and shit. And I thought, no, I'm eating light. They brought that fucking taco salad out. And then some bitch is about a foot across, and it's a big ass corn chip bowl, and it's got about a half a pound of goddamn taco meat on top of a big layer of refried beans, a bunch of salsa, melted cheese, lettuce, all that shit, tomatoes and all that shit on top. I looked at that thing and I lifted that hubcap up and I'm going, oh fuck. Then I just lifted the plate, then the taco salad. And I go, this is ridiculous. That taco salad is 2/3 of the weight of everything. All the weights in that taco salad. I couldn't, and that's back when I ate like a pig, and I only ate about half of it because there was so much. But I loved it. You break off a chunk of that bowl and chip it in there. And
oh yeah.
Load that chip part up and eat. Everything was edible. That's like I like the ice cream sundaes that come in the waffle cone bowls.
Wow.
Those are great, man.
I remember
it's like a waffle cone, but it's a bowl and it's got 3 scoops of ice cream with all the toppings and shit. You get the keep eating, you eat the bowl too.
You got to go back to the 70s and 80s. You got to go back to Chi-Chi's, and Chi-Chi's used to do their fried ice cream.
Oh yeah, wasn't that great?
That coating on it.
Yeah, it had that crispy coating on. Oh god, that shit was good.
Chi-Chi's was a thing back when I was a kid. So
I wasn't a kid, man. In fact, that's one of the first couple of dates I took my ex-wife on, until she found out that the waitress at Chi-Chi's was my ex-girlfriend. Yeah, don't take your current girlfriend to your ex-girlfriend's restaurant. It don't work out well.
Yeah, that was popular in the late 70s and 80s.
Oh yeah.
When me and the wife first got married, I think we went to Chi-Chi's only a couple of times after we first got. Then the Chi-Chi's here changed to a Don Pablo's, and then all those places shut down. You can't find it. I mean, I'm trying to think. Is there a name brand Mexican restaurant out there now, like Chi-Chi's or Don Pablo's?
That's a chain.
Yeah, there's a. I mean, Taco Bell's is not, And I'm sorry, but
not the fast food ones. Yeah.
And neither is like your little Tex-Mex places that you go in. That's like,
Yeah.
what was that? God, I think I'm drawing a blank. But yeah, are there any really name brand places? I mean, we have a Mexican place here in Lapeer, but it's
we've got here.
Yeah.
We here in Ashland. Well, they're in Ashland, Hayward, and over at just across the Michigan border in Ironwood, Michigan. 3 owned by the same family called Eldorados, and it's a Mexican family, big Mexican family, and you go there and it's authentic Mexican food and it's great, awesome food, but they only got 3 restaurants, you know, and it's a shame. I keep telling those guys, man, you need to make a chain out of this. You need to go out there, promote it, and maybe do franchising, and allow other people to build Eldorados and franchise your name. You know, no, we're okay with it the way I could probably become a millionaire, man. You know, your food's good enough. And see, our Chi-Chi's over in Minneapolis, when the ex-wife and I were first together, I love that place. You go in there, and the outside of it is real Mexican-y looking, you know, and you go in and you come into this lobby and you got to take the elevator down to the dining room. The dining room's way down in the basement somewhere, right? You get in this elevator, you push a button, and the old elevator clink, 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 and fucking walls are going by and clink, 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 and then all of a sudden, clunk, and the doors open up and you walk in and there's that big dining room. That fucking elevator doesn't move. It doesn't go up or down at all. It stays on the same fucking floor because it's the back door that opens. The door you came in isn't the door that opens. It's the back door. You just walking in one end, going out the other on the same floor. But you'd swear to God you're riding in that thing about 6 floors down in the basement. I loved it. The place, the whole atmosphere, and the food, and they played, you know, great, what I called Mexican street music, you know. The atmosphere was to die for. It felt like I was in Juarez, Mexico, down at the market square. I used, when I was really young, to go down to New Mexico every year. We'd always zip across, go down to El Paso and jump into Juarez and hang out in Juarez for a full day. I've only did one overnighter in Mexico. I never would have. Yeah. I regretted that back then, back in the 70s. I wouldn't want to try it today. But I loved it, man. You get to their big marketplace and it's an old arena. It's an old bullfighting arena that they turned into a huge marketplace. And you could buy anything and everything under the sun there. I bought a guitar there. I bought a big, really awesome chess set there. The guitar, I paid $11 for it. I brought it back to the U.S. and I sold it for $185. The chess set. Fought with that Mexican for about an hour. He's chasing me around that huge marketplace for about 2 hours. Come on. We're not done dealing. I said, I spent an hour with you and you're just not giving me the right amount. And he said, well, guess what? He says, I sell it to you for what you offered. I offered him $3.50 for this fucking thing. I took that chess set back home with me up to Minnesota at the time. I was living in Minnesota. And I turned that chess set around. I sold it. I sold the some bitch for $45 and I only paid $3.50 for it. I loved it down there in Mexico. But everywhere you went, street performance, they're out there playing and singing and dancing and everywhere. All these outdoor cantinas. Just don't let your kids buy the Orange Crush. No. It's orange flavored vodka.
Ah.
Yeah.
Just make sure you take it from them if they buy it.
Yeah. Don't be rude. Oh my gosh, Spicy, you don't have to do that, man. You don't. No, seriously. you
That's cool.
don't.
No. I mean, sometimes people get sitting here and they're enjoying the live stream. Nothing like a little donation to someone's channel to show you your appreciation and you're enjoying the channel. That's all.
Well, thank you. You're a champ, man. Your friendship's worth 100 times that, man. You've been so good to me. So good to me.
You hung out. We've been friends for a while now, so it's been a couple of years. Probably on 3.
Yeah, I was looking today, and right now, this month, I've been using StreamYard for 2.5 years. And you and I met back when I was using Google Hangouts, and OBS.
Okay.
So it was way before StreamYards that you and I met up, and that was 2.5 years ago when I did my very first StreamYard stream. I was looking that up today. StreamYard's got a couple of new features coming out, and one of them, I sent them a message. I'm a little disappointed because you got to be a pro member to get it. Well, that's $50 a month. I'm not paying them $50 a month. My channel's got to get a lot bigger before I can afford $50 a month. If the channel was big enough and there was enough revenue, that it would justify it, but it's just not there. But one of the features is multi-camera, that they're going to have. You can put it on your stream deck, hit one button and switch cameras, and where now you got to go into their settings and all this bullshit to change your camera, and it freezes, and then the new camera comes up, then it's like it has to shut yours down and start the other one up, where this new feature is going to be instantaneous. You just get it, gives you the extra that second camera view and all that. I was all excited, and then I heard in their summit on Thursday, they had a StreamYard summit, and I hung out there and watched that, and they announced it's coming out. But you got to be a pro member. Nope. Not for $50 a month.
Yeah, I mean that doubles what there is no in between. You're either 25 or 50. You know what? You come out with something like that. I ask an extra $10 for it, right? You get a lot more. You get a ton of people for 10. I mean, $10 is $10, right? $10. I don't even think twice about $10, right? So I automatically upgrade. And guess what? So does a lot of other StreamYard people automatically upgrade. You make more money by having more people in there for the extra $10 than the few people that you get in there for the $50. Because again, your biggest YouTubers, they're not the ones that can really afford that. They ain't using StreamYard. They're using OBS. They're using YouTube.
Well, and that's
they're
it. Is
other stuff to live stream. They're not using StreamYard.
They're running a file server that weighs 350 pounds. They need 4 men to move it out of their house, and they've got all the top end equipment. Everything's the highest end equipment, and for them to drop $50 a month, it's like, oh, that's just one super chat. What do I care? I get it. I get it. But the rest of us, that I've had a lot of friends that are in different entertainment industries, levels of entertainment industries, and they all say we're just like the rest of the world in entertainment. We're all starving entertainers.
Right.
There's only a few at the top that are eating caviar. The rest of us are all starving entertainers. And the people that really want to make money are the ones that can provide a product to those starving entertainers. I can give you something that'll work for you, and you'll still accomplish what you're looking to do,
And usually you're not a solo entertainer once you start doing the stuff the right way. Now you've got a partner. Now you've got a creative team. And then you just grow and grow. There's very few LA beasts out there that it's just that person. You know, he is a rare guy that is out there. It's just him. He doesn't. I don't think he's got a creative team. I don't think he's got someone that edits and everything else for him. I think he does everything himself. I believe. But you got other people out there. You know, I see
Chowser, you crazy bugger. Oh, you're crazy, man. Yeah, he just gotta be a little bit of let's turn that knife a little there.
Anybody beat Chaucer with 15?
I'll still never forget my favorite super chat moment in all my. I've been YouTubing for 6 years now, a little over 6 years. I finally get monetized and figure it out, and I monetize myself. First super chats ever, right? So I have someone come in, Cab 7. He comes in and he super chats me $20. I damn near fell out of my chair. It's like $20. Are you freaking mad? Are you very first super chat? I'm just proud of him. Running Water, he's watching this stream. So he gets smart. He super chats $20. Well, I had made Running Water a moderator, right? Running Water wasn't totally copacetic with how things ran in StreamYard or anything, just like all of us at the time. We were all fresh to it. Well, and the live streaming in general. And here comes Cab right behind him. $50 freaking super chat. What does Running Water do? Comes right behind Cab and puts him on a fucking timeout. The guy just gave me $50 and couldn't say a word for the next 5 minutes because of Running Water. I'm on there just going, no, Running Water, no, you cannot moderate someone that's given my channel money. Don't do that. And Running Water's on there. Oh my God, what did I do? I don't know what happened. I pushed this button and all of a sudden, and he was using voice to text. And he ended up giving a command that timed Cab out. And he screwed it up. So Running Water feels bad, and he puts up a $20 super chat, says, Cab, I'm sorry. And I go ahead, do it to him again. Running Water. Cab gives me $20 and says, that's all right, Running Water. I understand. Shit happens. And I'm like, you guys keep apologizing. Keep it up. Running Water, go ahead. Time them out again. You know, that was that. And then Ann showing off her Pooh Bear. Holy shit. I made $75 because she kept showing off Pooh. And it's like, Ann, I'm going to send you some of that. Man, she was so insistent, don't you send me a dime. She said, that was so funny just to watch these morons giving you money because I'm showing just the top little part of my boob to see Winnie the Pooh. You know, everybody's seen Winnie the Pooh and nobody's paying $15 to see it. Right. Oh yeah, they are.
Well, my biggest super chat night ever was, what's up, Eagle guys? Was when I did the 34 packy chips.
Yeah, that was a good night.
I did over $500, but when you take everything in consideration, YouTube taking 30% of that, you take in consideration I had to pay taxes on that, and then I bought those chips. I appreciate the fact that everybody super chatted, but I think I netted. I was figuring out. I think I may have netted like $65 from that live stream.
Well, that was my highest revenue generator as far as super chats and the like was my very first Christmas live stream, all day live stream. What a huge difference compared to this Christmas. This Christmas, I made grossed $25. The very first Christmas, I grossed $685. But the same thing is I had to pay the taxes on that, and all the rest of it was donated to 4 families for their Christmases. So I really didn't get anything out of it. I covered my cost, but I didn't cover my taxes, which if I would have been smart, I would have calculated a percentage of it for tax and withheld that. But I gave it all to charity, but that generated a ton of revenue. And I did have a couple of people say, yeah, Sty's just on there begging for money and this and that. And I just I don't do poor Cab 7 got into that argument with people about, well, now I'm going to have to keep close record and show you where I put that money. I started doing that from day one. That money goes back into the channel some way. It either goes into other super chats to help other channels, or it goes into products or things I got to use, pays for camping fees to go out and make content, stuff like that.
We both use that money to help people out. Remember when your computer went
down? It's coming, Kathy.
Remember when your computer went down?
Yeah.
I used channel. I didn't use my personal money. I used channel money to do that. I remember when one of our good friends back then that was a member of my channel, had problems with heat at his house and his furnace went out. I was on Amazon that night and had a electric heater sent to his house, and he had that in 2 days. I've used the money for channels, and for, again, nothing goes in my bank account. It all goes into one separate account. And everything else that I do, it goes into the stuff that I do around here. It goes back into super chats when I go to other people's channels. Again, be honest with you, I don't hardly get as much, nowhere near what I used to. And again, it's restricted to what I've done. And again, I haven't done as much as I used to, but.
Right. And that's me. My memberships, they help pay for some of my overhead costs and some of this equipment upgrade stuff. And that's like Samantha, when she was having those microphone issues, it got to the point where I felt so bad for her. She was so embarrassed because she kept getting cut out. Her mic was failing all the time on her and blah, blah. Yeah. It was terrible. She was having such a hard time. So I messaged her one day and said, hey, on such a day, a microphone's supposed to be at the post office for you. And she goes, you don't have to buy that for me. I said, I didn't. The channel did.
The people.
I didn't. It didn't come out of my pocket. Right. It came from all of our viewers, all of our followers. You needed it, and there was enough money in the YouTube fund that I could just go ahead and buy it for you. And that's it. And that's what I like about the revenue side of YouTube. I've come to the conclusion I'm not going to make a living off of it. And so why not take it and just kind of share it out, and just make it easier for everybody. And if you have a crisis on one of your devoted followers, like Get Her Done Granny, I was able to help her out considerably, but I did it out of the YouTube fund.
Yep.
I took a big chunk out of that YouTube fund and sent it right off to Get Her Done Granny to help her after that fire. And I did it in behalf of everybody.
You know who does a wonderful thing with their YouTube money? And you probably don't know it. You probably haven't researched it. Mr. Beast. He gives away a ton. He has got like 6 or 7 other channels that are under his logo. He's got one that's just food, where the views from that just go to these food pantries and this stuff. And he feeds families, and he feeds shelters, and he feeds. I mean, this guy he's got so much YouTube money. Now, of course, I'm sure he lives an okay lifestyle. He doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
He looks like he's still a young kid, and he's having a good time doing. And he does very extravagant challenges, very extravagant. But again, he's not doing that by himself. He's got a team of people that he is paying, not just his friends that are on the field with him or on camera with him. There's a lot of people behind the scenes that's doing all of that editing and everything else.
Right.
I tell you, that guy puts his heart and his soul, and he gives back so much to the community. I don't know how if you watch YouTube, you can't support someone like Mr. Beast because he's a fantastic guy.
Well, see, and that's it. Is I had a big issue with some channels. I loved their channel, but I didn't like their revenue generation because they were beggars. And they also had a bad habit of telling the audience, you know, my revenue's way down and it's because you guys, you know, you got to beef this up, you know, you got what? No. Now, if you've got 1 million followers and if you piss them all off, you're still making 40 grand off of them. Now you can talk that way, but boy, oh boy, when you're making maybe $50 or $100 in super chats in a 3-hour live stream, you don't get on there and start down talking your audience. Those people, they want to give to you if you're going to be the giving type,
right?
You know, that's me. I've had so many people in my life, and some people that pissed off come to me and say, hey, Sty, can you help me out with this, this, and this? And I'd say, what have you done? You know, have you tried this? Have you done this? Have you done? And if they say, well, no, I just need the help. Well, but you're not trying to help yourself?
Looking for
well, I'm trying to help myself by getting you to give me. Oh, well then, sorry, I ain't got none. But if you're trying to help yourself, and I see that you're putting your own effort into your own plight, I'd love to help you out, man. I'd love to help pick you up, you know, because your feet are moving. They just need to be planted on the ground, you know. And if I can help you do that, you bet, I'd love to. But boy, it's just give me. All I want is you to give me. When my computer system totally fucking fried, I was so pissed. Oh, I was so pissed. Life was a bitch. But it took me about 12 hours to think it through and work it out. And I was able to get on that old laptop and at least do a stream to announce, guys, guess what? I'm not going to try to use this laptop. Look at how bad this stream is. I can't do it, man. I just can't use this equipment. And my good equipment's done for. It's gone. It's trash. I said, but don't worry about it. I got it all figured out. I managed to figure it out. It's going to take me no more than 3 months. And I'll have all new equipment. I'll be up and we'll be back running again. Everything will be fine. So all I ask for is your patience, okay? Just be patient with it. They weren't. Son of a bitch, my PayPal account went nuts. And I'm like, what are you people doing? I just told you I can take care of it. And I tell you, 4 out of 5 people that helped me out to get this new system, 4 out of 5 of those people told me they helped me out because I had already come up with the answer. It was just going to take a lot of effort for me, and I was going to have to do without a little bit, you know, but I was willing. They said the fact that you were going to do it all on your own made me want to help you out. Oh, shit. I didn't realize what I had walked myself into. I didn't want anybody else investing in my YouTube channel. And they did. They put this YouTube channel back up on its feet. Yeah. Out of generosity and ask for nothing in return, man. That's it. Is so many of us do that. If I give somebody a super chat, I help them out on their channel. I don't want nothing back.
No,
I don't want nothing back at all. Yeah, give me, never gets. Yeah. I love it with my daughters. Both of them went through it. My one daughter learned right away. The other one, she tested it a few times, but the old, hey, Dad, can I get $50? What for? Well, I need diapers and milk and this and that for the kids. And I'm just tight right now. I just broke. Yeah, sure. Give them $50. Then a couple days later, find out from somebody, oh, yeah, she was in the bar that night, buying her friends drinks and doing this. That. Say, what? She can buy her friends a bunch of drinks out at the bar, but she asked me for $50 to help her kids out. Talked to her babysitter, and her babysitter said, oh, she did need milk or diapers. Hell, she had 4 gallons of milk in the fridge and 3 packs of diapers in the closet. And she conned me out of $50. Well, then next time she comes to me and says, hey, Dad, can I get $50? Oh, do your kids need things? Yeah, they need this, and this. And I always got a tablet and a pen right close by me all the time, 24 hours a day. I grabbed that, started writing. She's looking at me kind of funny. And I said, I'll tell you what, you're going to be at home. I'll stop over at your house about 4 o'clock this afternoon, and I'll take care of you. Don't worry about it. Showed up at her front door with a shitload of diapers and milk and all the things she wanted. And I go, here you go, help me carry this shit in. Well, what's that? I said, well, you said you needed this stuff. That's what you needed $50 for. I saved you the cost of using the gas to go to the store and all that shit. I just picked it all up for you. Well, no, what I really needed was the $50. I said, oh, you didn't need this stuff. You just needed the $50. Guess what? From this day forward, you tell me what you need, and I'll make sure you get it. All of a sudden, they don't ask often. When they did ask, I knew they needed it, and I would go get it for them. And that's, yeah, help me pay my rent. Give me $300 to help pay my rent. Well, no, I'll send a check to your landlord for $300.
There you go.
He won't accept your check. Oh, you want a bet?
I want to bet.
You want to bet? There ain't nobody that stupid. I'm not going to accept it because it's not from you. No, they'll take whatever money is coming their way. They're not going to say no. No. That's, yeah. Well, guys, it's that time. We're going to call it a night. I hate to do it with, we got 15 folks in the house. It's nice. But Bill's got a big day. I got a big day. And life goes on. Hey, it's Sunday night. Tomorrow night is Sty Times at 5 p.m. Central Time. Topic is farmers. I got a lot to tell you about farmers tomorrow. Then Sty's got Tuesday off. I get to finish working in the house on my day off. So, hey, hope to see y'all tomorrow night. If not, catch you Wednesday night or Thursday night. Yeah, you know I'm up quite a bit. So, hey, you guys make sure if Bill has Monday night hangout tomorrow night, get over there and
We'll be
check
there.
him out. Yeah, he'll be there. He says, I'm going to try to be there tomorrow night. I can't clean the house all day. I got to take breaks in between.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah. So yeah, I do my live stream, and then usually within a half hour to an hour, he goes live with his hangout. So it works good for me. Yeah. So hopefully we'll see you all over at Phil's tomorrow night. Until the next time, we love y'all, and like Phil says, keep it spicy.
Keep it spicy.
Bye, guys.